guys, my name is Jasmine and I am your small town witch, here to talk to you about protection and warding magic. I know, so exciting. So, I know that there's 1,000 videos out there, all telling you kind of the same thing. And I know that that can get a little frustrating, especially because they're all telling you the same thing. Well, there's a reason why they're telling you the same thing, is because it works. Now, what they don't tell you is every witch does it a little differently. I can only give you what I do and how I do it and what I do for this kind of concept and why I do protection and warding magic. So, let's talk about it. Why do we do protection and warding magic? One, because people are mean. Like, let's put it out there, straight up, don't care. People are mean. People are petty. I've had my petty days when I was a kid too, so people are mean, people are petty. Let's protect ourselves from the petty people. Now, one of the major protections that I have seen out in the world is a very old situational thing. It's called the evil eye, or the evil eye pendant. It's blue, then white, then I think a dark blue and a black dot in the middle. It looks like an eyeball. You've seen it pretty much everywhere. I have one hanging by my door. So, the concept of this is that not only witches can cast the evil eye. Anybody can put that kind of negative crap onto you by jealousy, usually envy, so on and so forth. So the evil eye pendant protects on that. 2. So the whole point of me bringing that up, just so you're aware, is to say that technically anybody, not just witches, can cast a spell on you. They don't realize it, but they can. Okay, so we need to protect ourselves. Then you always have the witches' attacks. Everyone's like, oh my god, a witch is out to get me, a witch is out to get me. Trust me, honey, you're probably not worth the herbs. But that is one reason why we do it, just in case. You might have a hurricane prepared pack, even though you don't expect a hurricane kind of concept. We have first aid kits because we don't want people to get hurt, but we acknowledge that it happens every once in a while. So, are witches out to get you? Probably not. But it's nice to be guarded just in case. The other reason why we guard is spirits. So, yes, most spirits are good spirits and chill, and they generally want good things for you. But just like we have a left hand, we have a right hand, we have a good, we have an evil, we have balance in the world. So where there's happy, helpful spirits, there are spirits out there who aren't so happy and aren't so helpful. Okay? Okay. So, these spirits can be just negative energy. Maybe they had a shitty life. Or even a deity could have very negative energies. I'm not going to say that these deities are perfect. I really think that a lot of them from the stories are kind of like humans. So, therefore, they might have a stanky kind of energy. Especially, like, think Demeter, Persephone's Persephone's mom, might have a very sad energy in the winter. She's missing her daughter. There's a reason why we go into winter. So if she's coming with a heavy load on her shoulders, you might feel that heaviness during the winter. It's bound to be that way. Do you really need to protect yourself from her? Maybe not. Maybe. I know that there's a reason why there's brownies and boggards. There's a reason why there's Seelie and unseelie pixies. Like, let's just be real. And it doesn't necessarily mean you want to protect yourself from the unseelie pixies. But it could technically mean that there are negative energies. Yes, I know in the comments there might be, oh, the unseelie pixies, I work with them all the time. They're awesome, this, that, and the other thing. They're just kind of death or dark kind of pixies. Yeah. I don't work with pixies, I don't work with fairies, I don't work with the fae, so I'm just generally trying to get you to see the yin and the yang concept. So where there's helpful energies, there could also be harmful energies. They're out there. That's all I'm trying to get to see you. So don't come in at me in the comments, because I'm just trying to get you to understand conceptually what is going on in the world. Then, after all the negative spirits, maybe they're just crabby, maybe there aren't. I know that there are good and bad demons out there, believe it or not. So after all of that, there's also you. As you go throughout your day outside of your home, you're going to pick up energies. Maybe somebody's having a bad day and that kind of schmucks on you. And then maybe you get cranky because someone cut you off and that kind of schmucks on you. Well, you got to get those negative energies off, and you're going to try to keep them off with certain protections. It is what it is. There's happy and sad, and there's positive and negative. So let's protect ourselves. Now, 90% of books that you read, if they are about witchcraft and they're telling you how to do direct spells, hopefully, the author will preface this as, this is not a spell to be reworked, or do this to protect yourself afterward or before. So, when you're reading about these magic spells and magic things in books, because I'm always saying, hey, read books, just please keep into considerations. Certain things aren't reversible. Certain things you do have to protect yourself before and after. Certain things like this is just to be considered depending on what you're doing. So that's my disclaimer. Put that aside. All right. So how do you protect yourself? So all the old wives' tales in the books, they're old wives' tales for a reason. I know it's stupid to be superstitious, but there's a reason for them. Some of them, are silly and stupid and don't mean anything. And some of them are for reasons. So let's talk about some things I do and why I do them. So, in my house, I'm not going to tell you all of them. I'm not going to tell you all of my wards and curses, because that'd be silly of me to say, hey, witches, these are all of my boundaries. Come and get around them. That would be a little silly, don't you think? Don't always tell everybody all of your safeguards. But these are just some that are very basic that I like, or some that I do or do not do. So sometimes I've seen them, sometimes I've read about them, so on and so forth. Just to give you ideas, man. 1. You know that energetic shield that everyone's telling you to meditate and put around you? Do that. So what you're going to do is you're going to sit in your room, sit outside, sit somewhere, and just push your energy out. Focus on pushing all your energy out, but then holding it to a certain point around you. You might get very tired after the first several times of this, because you're pushing all your energy out, and if you're not used to holding it around you, it might just go and then you need a nap. So get yourself a nappy nap and a snacky snack and get back out there and try again. What you want to do is kind of hold it around you, and then you can even practice pushing it out farther, dragging it back in, pulling it out, dragging it back in. But really what you want to do is kind of either make a shell or an egg or a bodysuit around you of your energy, and kind of shield it off to the energies outside, kind of like a shield. So when I do this, I tend to see a purple egg. It's like dragon scaled up here, and then I hold it, and that's my visionary aspects of it, because I need that visual aspect of it to help me. So feel free to imagine yourself kind of like in a Catwoman suit. You're holding that Catwoman suit right near you to keep you safe. Eggs work really good. Orbs. Think of Glinda the Good Witch from the East in Wizard of Oz. She comes down in that magical bubble. That's kind of what you want to do, but hopefully it helps me to keep it kind of closer to myself. And funny enough, at work, especially when I'm doing these things, because people don't touch me. I know that sounds weird, like, why are people touching you anyways? But, like, I work with a lot of old ladies and cute people and whatnot and what for. And when I'm just feeling overwhelmed, I'll just kind of make this shell, and people, like, stay 3 feet back instead of getting right up close to me when they talk. They're willing to stay 3 feet back. And then even my coworkers who are like, "Hey, Jazz," right up in my face all the time, or like, "Hey, Jazz," and they're like, "Hey," touching my shoulder or whatnot as they talk to me, or like be coworky appropriate touches. They don't do that when I'm doing this, and they don't even know I'm doing it, and I just kind of giggle at the differences between my coworkers. And I do it whenever I'm tired, most of the time, a lot of the time when I'm tired, because I'm an anti-socialite. Doing 6 feet before it was cool. So yeah, it's just kind of this thing. It's one of the first steps in practicing your magic is to kind of, and that shell kind of keeps that gunk off of you. You know what I mean? 2, when you get home, wash all the gunk off. Wash all the gunk off. Energetic showers are awesome. So yes, you have to wash the actual gunk off, like soap and water. Please don't forget that. But one of the things I like to do is I just and fling it out. Grab the energy, fling it out. And it kind of just makes me feel a little lighter, a little happier. There's a couple verses, like the hyssop verse. I'm not going to try to pretend I know what it is. I actually might have it here in a book, so while I'm talking to you, I'll pull it up. The hyssop verse in the Bible: take a bath in hyssop, that cleans you. That's more or less if you're doing dark magic, but I can't see why you couldn't do it even just to relax and get the crap off you. I don't see how that wouldn't help at all, to be honest with you. So, let me pull it up. Oh, spiritual forgiveness and atonement. So this is more or less for forgiveness. But a hyssop bath will get that gunk off of you. Hyssop is amazing. But yeah, it's Psalms 51. Psalms 51 is the verse where it has hyssop in the Bible. And basically hyssop is pretty much cleansing your sins in the Bible, because God knows we're all freaking sinners in the Bible. Love that. But I also know that a lot of spiritual people will use the Bible. So, Psalms 51 is about hyssop. So, cleanse yourself. And once you are cleansed, you can use incense. Try to avoid white sage. Find your own thing. Be a little original. Especially the kinds from, like, freaking everywhere. If you're going to use it, get it from a reputable source. Don't just go to the first store you find and get it. Don't do that. It's not cool. Try to buy from small stores, local stores, so on and so forth. But I like cedar better, and pine and cedar. It's just, that's what's in my neck of the woods. Kind of up north a little bit in the United States. So I'll leave it at that. I'm probably gonna sneeze. So cleanse yourself before warding your house. Because warding can, like, hold that energies and kind of create that wall. But you don't want to be walking around warding with the gunky stuff on you. It kind of doesn't make sense. Clear your mind when you ward. So, warding your house. Let's talk about warding your house. You're all clean. You got home. You bought all your things that I'm going to talk about right now. And you're prepared. And you're going to ward your house. And you're a first timer. And you're all excited. Woosah. Get your energies kind of balanced. You cleanse yourself. You're good. You are probably never going to throw away an eggshell again. I love eggshells. So, what does the eggshell do? It protects the baby inside the egg. So, what I do after I'm done cracking my eggs is I toss them on the edge of the sink or in the sink. I'll make sure the sink's 100% cleaned out. I know we all have dirty sinks. Toss them on the edge of the sink. I don't care. Toss them in a paper plate. Toss them there. And then you know how you always have that downtime? Sometimes you don't, so you can cook your eggs, go eat, come back. And that's fine. Or you have that downtime while your food's cooking, depending on what you're cooking. Go to the sink, and what you want to do is, one, make sure all the gunk is out of the eggs, so just sometimes a little rinse right away helps. But during this time, your egg's kind of drying. That little membrane inside the egg is drying. So what you want to do is just kind of rub your finger. If this is the shell, inside the shell, this is the inside the shell, this is my finger. You're just going to kind of rub your finger on the inside of the shell like this. And what you're going to do is you're going to start seeing a membrane kind of pull up. And then you can just peel the membrane off. And then if you don't get it all or it rips, just... You don't want to do too hard. Just enough pressure to kind of get that membrane to loosen up, and it'll peel right off. Then throw your eggs, your egg shells, just the shells. Throw the membranes in the compost or whatever you want to give them back to the earth. Throw them in the compost. Trash if you must. Whatever works for you. I don't really care. And throw your eggs in the oven. 300 to 400 depending on your oven. I'm one of those witches who is very impatient, so 400 in the oven for about a half an hour. You'll start to see the edges a little bit burn. Take them out, let them cool a little bit, throw them in your mortar and pedal, your grinder, your mortar and pedal. I can never pestle. I cannot speak today. You know what I'm talking about. Please excuse me. Throw them in the grinder. I'm just going to call it a grinder. And work the crap out of them. Stick them in a jar. Save them for later. Because what I'm going to do with those eggshells is I actually sprinkle them on my doorstep. Now, I live in an apartment. So I sprinkle them on the front door and the back door. You'll see little white eggshells. My grandfather, who's exceedingly Christian, and my landlord, has not noticed them when he comes in. I've had my grandfather come in, because I was letting the eggs cool on the stove, kind of before I grinded them up. And he's like, eggs? Why do you need eggs? One, if you're out of the broom closet, you can say, oh, don't ask. Or you can say, do you sure you want the answer? If you're out of the broom closet, that kind of gives my grandfather, when I go, do you really want the answer? Him saying, yes, I want the answer, or no, I don't want the answer, never mind. That kind of gives him the clue of hint, hint, nudge, nudge. You may not like the answer. Sometimes he says yes, and then he goes, you know what? I shouldn't have asked, should have I? And I'm like... Or, he's like, yeah, I want to know the answer. And I'm like, it's magic stuff. And he's like, how is that magic stuff? I go, do you want to know the answer too? And he goes, yeah, how is eggs magic stuff? And then I explain it, and he goes, I don't like that. And I go, okay, next time don't ask. Sometimes he's like, why eggs? And I'm like, do you really want to know the answer with me? And he goes, never mind, I don't want to know. You're weird. I want to know. And just kind of walks away. It gives them that out to kind of almost like double check. You could say yes, they consented because they asked. But it gives them that kind of double check or kind of safety boundary of like, hey, you're asking questions about a territory you don't like. That is all I'm going to say about that. Do you really want to know? If you go, well, this is about what you don't like, they're going to be like, and then it gets defensive. Then you're telling them what they do and do not like. They get defensive. It causes an argument. Trust me, I know from a freaking... Apparently Voodoo has to be in the room. I know you can see him over this shoulder. Yeah, that's Voodoo. He is my cat. Anyways, that kind of gives them the second choice kind of concept. If you are in the broom closet, oh, it's for the garden. Eggs are really great for the garden. Or the grass. Or, my friend is fucking... I know you don't want to lie. So if you don't want to lie... Oh, they're great for gardening. They're great for grass. Have a potted plant on your porch. It's a great thing for your unpotted plant. So just sprinkle on your potted plant and go, oh, I use it for the potted plant. If you say I use it for the potted plant and you do sprinkle like just a hair on the potted plant, you're not lying. You do use it for the potted plant. If you have no green thumb and you are willing to lie, I don't like lying, but I understand that sometimes it's necessary. Oh, they're great for the garden, but you don't have a garden. So say, oh, they're great for the garden. My friend asked me if I could keep my eggshells for them because they have a really big garden. They don't go through that many eggs. So, and this is what she does with them. I decided to help her with it. So I'm just doing the extra steps for her because I have the time. My grandfather has never looked at me sideways when I said things like that. Because before I was totally out of the broom closet, I'd be like, oh, they're great for the potted plants. We had rosemary and stuff sitting out on the porch. I still have rosemary and stuff sitting out on the porch. Great for the potted plants. Great for the potted plants. Oh, okay. The issue is my grandfather and my grandmother don't always remember what they ask. So therefore, they ask again. And I came out of the broom closet, so then I'm like, do you really want to know? So, sprinkle them in your garden, outside. Sprinkle them by your doorstep. Sprinkle them by your windowsills. The fun thing about them is cats don't really like to eat them, but they are decently pet friendly. I can't say anything for any other animal, but my cats haven't even noticed them. And if they do eat them, they're eating an eggshell. They're going to poop it out. It's not going to hurt them. Might be a little gritty and not tasty, but not going to hurt them. Obviously, if they're consuming a bunch of it and they just can't get enough, I've never met a pet that does that, but say they do. Say your pet's weird. Just find something else that works. It's not a big deal. Sigils. Sigils at the doorsteps. Sigils on your hands, sigils on your forehead, sigils anywhere. Sigils are a great way. Find your own way to make sigils. There's a bajillion videos out there. Sigils work. Awesomeness. Greatness. Perfect for that. Plant rosemary by your garden gate. I have it on my back porch. My back porch is kind of like my garden gate. I don't got a garden, I got a porch. So it goes on my porch. That's a sign of protection. Another herb that is protection is mint. I don't necessarily love mint for myself. Love it for you, not for me. Because I am allergic. So I can't tell you do this with mint and do that with mint because I can't. I am allergic to it. That's how I'm going to leave it. It's very unpleasant if I sniff or eat or digest or lick. Or get it on my hands and then lick my hands. Very unpleasant. So, mint is great though. So you could sprinkle mint. Or get some mint cleaning wipes instead of the orange or citrus. By the way, orange and citrus are great. Sorry about the beeping if you can hear it. That's my husband's alarm telling me it's time for bed. But, orange and citrus, great for cleansing. Wash your house down before you cleanse your house. So we always try to, why do I say wash your house before you cleanse your house? Wash your house and cleanse your house before warding. So we always cleanse, then ward. Wash, then protect. It's just the way it goes. So that goes with you, that goes with your house, that goes with your animals, that goes with your cats, that goes with your bunnies, that goes with your husband, that goes with your kids. Cleanse, then ward. Because we're keeping the space clean. So we don't want to protect a dirty space. We want to protect a clean space. So, just putting it out there. But citrus is great for cleaning. Maybe add a little bit of peppermint. Or, especially in Christmas, I know you guys all love your peppermint smelling crap. Yeah, I know because my nose goes nuts. Put a little bit in your cleaning solution. There you go. Salt is a great cleansing and protecting. If anybody has seen any horror movies, they've had to see one with at least a ring of salt. Don't kill your plants, because salt can hurt your plants if you put too much. Don't do that. Don't kill things with salt. It's the reason why it's not good for the grass, okay? Salt's not good for the grass. Take it from a girl who's plowed in the winter. Salt rock, salt mixture, kills the grass. Just annihilates it. So, take it from me, salt kills it. Witches' brooms, or even brooms in general. Hang your broom. So, this right here is my broom. I actually handcrafted it down in Salem, Mass, in I think the Bookery. You guys can do it too. They are kind of expensive, but you get to choose your terms and choose your broom bristles. Mine's green and black. I actually made this broom on my honeymoon. Yeah, we went down to Salem, Mass for my honeymoon. I'm gonna put it on my bed. Oh, sorry, voodoo. Mobby. So, I actually made that broom on my honeymoon. My husband gave me... We did almost everything for a full week. It was awesome. But yeah, that's the broom I pull out when I'm doing witchy stuff. My husband knows. When I clean the kitchen with the regular broom, I'm cleaning the kitchen is what it is. When I pull out that broom, I'm cleansing. To the point where I was sweeping the trunk of the bed of my truck out with that broom, and he's like, "Why are you doing with that broom? That's your special broom. That's your witch broom. What are you trying to do?" And I'm like, "Honey, this truck has been through us with camping and drama and this, that, and another thing. I am cleaning the gunk out of my truck." And he looks at me and goes, "Fair enough. Fair enough. I'm not gonna ask questions anymore." I'm like, so sweeping. Put salt all over your floor. Sweep it up. Remember, clockwise to bring in things, counterclockwise to push things out. So, just remember that. Witch's ladders. I have one hanging on my porch. A witch's ladder is literally a rope. Usually it has kind of driftwood or stuff tied into the knots of it. And then some kind of ornamental hanging bottom. Awesome. Just remember to anoint it, refill it with energy. All these things just need to be refilled with your energy. So eventually sweep up the eggshells, put them outside, put more eggshells down. Witch's broom, I like to anoint it with oils, so on and so forth. That's I can tell you a ward I had is I handmade little brooms. And I hung them by the doors and I put bells and charms on them. Kind of like witches' bells, which I will go over in 2 seconds. But a broom hanging above your door is a safety thing. So when that broom needs to be retired, it is going and hanging right above my door. So brooms hanging above the doors is a good protection. Just so you're aware, if you're standing your broom up with the bristles up, that is pushing out people. Like, you don't want guests. And if you put your broom down, that means you want guests. And if your broom falls over, that means someone's coming. Obviously, if you let it drop, you're being a dupe. You're not actually, but actually you are, but you're not actually having people come because you literally just someone must be coming. Stop it. So I made my own little brooms. I added bells to them. I hung them by each door, and as spirits went by, the bells would ring. That's kind of the same concept. I brought the broom concept and the witch's bells concept together. Witch's bells are literally ornamental things that you hang either on the knob of your door or on the bell of your door, and they're literally just ribbons of bells. Sometimes they have keys or charms or whatnot, and they ring whenever someone comes in, whether it be human or spirit. They'll ring to kind of let you know, hey, something's around. Um, I have a troll on my porch. Again, anything can really be a gargoyle. Mark it with a sigil, mark it with oils, talk to it. It'll become your house creature. Trust me, it will. Ralph is our house creature, and she is amazing. So it's just another emphasis on that. Pretty much anything, generally anything, can be a protection as long as you intend it to be. Now, don't get me wrong. If you're like, hey, I'm just going to pick something. This pen to be a protection pen. Well, it's just a pen until you make it a protection pen. Well, I've declared it's a protection pen. Get off your fucking rocker. You ain't the world. Do something with the pen to make it a protection pen. And this is the most stupidest thing I could think of. Maybe write a protection sigil on it, so every time you are writing your special protection sigils on paper, this is the pen you use. It's really is about energy, creating your own space. There are certain things that are just certain things. I wouldn't use rose petals as protection. They're more of a love thing. So you can't just substitute anything, I would say, because it's like telling roses to be a protection plant is like telling a mathematician to crochet a blanket. Okay? Telling roses to be a protection plant is like telling a mathematician to crochet a blanket. Yes, they might be able to do it. No, are they gonna do it well? I would rather ask a cute little granny who's been crocheting for 20 years to crochet me a blanket, not a mathematician who is used to doing mathematical things. Alright? I would not ask my husband, who is pretty much a barbarian, to sew a skirt. He would, oh my god, it'd be so bad. It'd be so bad. So bad. Love him to death. No. He can sew patches in his jeans, but that's about it. Love that man. He can sew up his flesh. When he gets a cut, he cannot sew a skirt. It would be bad. It would be very, very bad. Alright. Sorry. Had to was thinking about silly things in my head. I'm very giggly tonight. Believe it or not. So, that's kind of protecting your house. Now, how do you protect yourself when you go outside? Same kind of concept. So, it kind of depends on where you're going. There are different... So, for instance, let's put it this way. If you are walking down a well-lit street... Sorry, I know I'm pausing because I'm trying to think. Say you're walking up a well-lit street that you've walked up your entire life to your grandmother's house. And you know the road really well, and it's bright early daytime in the Nowhereville, and just you and your grandmother live there, and she lives 40 feet away from you. That's kind of my situation. So, she lives 40 feet away from you. Am I going to bring everything and their mother to protect me for that? Or am I just going to walk up to my grandmother's in my PJs in flip-flops? I'm probably just going to walk up to my Grammys in PJs and flip-flops and not really worry about it. Now, if I'm walking down a dark alley, I am not going to walk down that dark alley with PJs and flip-flops singing la-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da. One, I'm going to be wearing full pants. 2, I'm going to be wearing full shirt. 3, I might even, for a person who believes in the Second Amendment, I might even be carrying something else to protect me in that kind of situation. And we'll leave it at that. So, different situations, is my point, causes for different types of protection. Okay? We do it all the time. We just don't know it. It's even in our body language. When you walk to your grandmother's house, you're like, la-di-da-di-da-di-da. When you walk in a dark alley, your shoulders up, your head's on a swivel, you're looking around, you're paying attention to who's around you. In a crowd, you're the same kind of way. Maybe in certain parts of a city, you're watching your pockets for a pickpocket. These things are certain places have certain dangers. So, we're going to protect ourselves in different ways depending on the place. When I first leave my house, if I'm just going to work, if I'm just chilling with my friends, one of the things I do is I got a cute little protection mist. It is a Divine Touch Angel Mist. I got it in a box. I love this thing. For some odd reason, I don't even think that this was designed for protection. Honestly, but for some odd reason, I smelled, there is a little mint in it, but again, not in my mouth. I spray it on the back of my neck away from my mouth. And it's very, very, very light scented. If there is any mint in it, it's just, my nose tends to be like, whenever I smell any kind of mint. But it's not going in my mouth, so I'm safe about it. Always be safe. Make smart choices for yourself. But just back of the neck, because you don't know why I do the back of my neck. This is a Divine Touch Angel Spray. And negative entities are known to cling onto the back of your neck and the back of your head. In my, I would say pantheon, that's what happens. Negative energies cling onto that area of you. They kind of latch onto there. So I spray back there. You might wear, again, an evil eye pendant. You might draw sigils on the back of your hands. Maybe you can't do any of that. Maybe you just create your eggshell because you're going up to your grandmother's in your PJs. You have to assess the difference of the situations before you go into them. So one of the things you would do for protection in a graveyard, for instance, some people, when they drive by a graveyard, they don't look at it. Or they throw coins out their window for the graveyard. Or I've seen people drop coins and small shiny things at the entrance of the graveyard for the kind of like the graveyard keeper. And that kind of appeases that spirit. It keeps you safe. I would say that's a safety thing. I've seen people walk backwards out of a graveyard. I've seen people walk in circles in the graveyard to confuse the spirits and then walk out. Never in the same entrance that they walked in on. I've seen Christian women leave flowers or offerings to different graves for their loved ones. Yes, to make their graves happy, but also to appease the spirits. I've seen Christian women go to graveyards and drop coins. I've seen Christian women lay gifts on different graves of someone that they've heard of or this, that, or the other thing to appease that person. Not just make it look nice. My grandmother goes, oh, it just makes it look nice. And I'm like, okay, what about that lady who was in your church? And she goes, oh, that's just to make it look nice, Jazz. And I'm like, okay. And that's funny. I love that. And even today, if my grandmother saw this video, she'd be like, Jasmine, you making stuff up. And I'd be like, okay. She doesn't... It's funny. It's just funny. And don't get me wrong, it doesn't have to be someone my grandmother's necessarily associated with, but I used to ask questions like, what's that lady doing in the graveyard? Why is she doing that? What is she doing that for? Why are these pennies on the graves? Why are there pennies on the graves? That was my favorite, because I'd see pennies on different graves. Gotta love it. So, you don't bring a knife to a gunfight, in other words. You don't bring a gun to a knife fight, in other words. You gotta kind of try to even it out. And YouTube, probably doesn't like that word, but I don't care. Another way you can protect yourselves is find what stones. I don't necessarily do this for protection. I will figure out what stones I am trying to carry that energy with. But stones. A lot of stones have protection in them. I'm pretty sure black obsidian is a protective stone. Well, honestly, I put it in my bra or in my bag. And I carry it with me. A lot of the times I put it right under my titties, my heart chakra. Carry that shit with me. Great protective. Make sure you don't get a super pointy sharp one. and stick it in your titties. We don't need to cut ourselves. Let's not unprotect ourselves while protecting ourselves. It does not work very well. Does not work very well. One of the other things I do is I talk to my deities and I ask them, what can I do to protect myself? Will you help me today? Will you let me know what I should avoid and what I should? One of the huge ones that no one fucking talks about, and like even in Witch World I don't even understand, is listen to your fucking gut. Great way to protect yourself. And I know it's not protection and warding, but fucking protection. Listen to your fucking gut. If something is telling you something is not right, get the fuck out. Get the fuck out. Do you know how many times that has saved me? Whether it be from a peer human, and then when I say peer, I mean like you have your peers in school. One of them wasn't doing so great, and he was not the greatest person, and yeah, told me to get the fuck out, and I got the fuck out. Come to find out, he was a douche to everybody else, and I'm gonna leave it at that. One time, me and Josh were staying at my sister's. Josh is my husband, by the way. Me and Josh were staying at my sister's, and we walked down to one of the main streets in the city that we were in at that time, and there was a protest going on, and we looked at each other and said, hey, let's get our pizza and get the hell out of here, because this doesn't look like it's going to be good. And nothing was happening. Literally, they were just setting up the road blockages, just something in our guts. And obviously you could say, well, Jazz, the protests go violent. It happens. You put two pieces together and said, but there was just something in our guts. There's just something in our guts that said, hey, this one, and don't get me wrong, the city protests, yes, they go violent, but this city is a very small city. It's not New York City. It's not like that. It's tiny, 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 tiny. Very surprised when stuff happens in this city, and it's a city. Most of the time it's just people on drugs getting overdosed. Like, really, like, it's pretty freaking small. I mean, Josh just left. Come to find out, there was a how do I want to say this? A pew-pew fight. Just to make it. And some people got hurt. I don't think anybody died. I can't remember quite well. I saw it on the news. And I was like, oh shit. I'm glad we left. And honestly, it doesn't even matter what type of protest it was. It was just the fact that people got hurt. And it was not the place I wanted to be. And I wasn't for or against the protesters or anything that happened. Like, it was just a violent situation. It went violent very quickly, and I think it lasted less than a half an hour. But it was supposed to start like 15 minutes before we left. So, like, we left 15 minutes before it was supposed to start or something like that. It was just kind of... And me and my husband, we call each other and we're like, I have a gut feeling. Can you get home? Can you just get home? Can you just get home? I have a gut feeling. I don't like this night. We need to get home. And both of us will just go home. We don't know why. Hopefully, we won't know why. Because hopefully by going home and being safe, we avoided whatever we needed to. So sometimes you don't always get the answers of that gut feeling. You just need to do what you need to do. Spirit guides are great for helping you. They'll say don't go there or go here or do it this way. Listen to them. Listen to them, because that's a big, huge protection. They're trying to help you. And it's funny, but they're trying to help you. At least most of them. Make sure your spirit guides are on point and you'll be cool. If you're like, how do I get to know my spirit guides? Well, go to the Claire's video. I put a whole freaking video up saying what's your psychic gift. That's going to teach you how to find your gift to help with connecting to spirit. It's not about spirits. It's about what's your psychic gift or what's your connection point, because we all have one. So go to that video. I'm not going to teach you how to connect to your deities in this one. Alright? I might make a deity connection video, but that's a different story. That's like trying to connect to one. So that's in a good way. Black candles. great for protection. Certain stones are great for protection. Certain herbs are great for protection. Growing rosemary by your thing. Peppermint we already discussed. Eggshells we already discussed. We already discussed the energy egg. We discussed kind of like house gargoyles or house, mine's a house troll. We discussed that. Some people actually have house spirits, not just like inanimate kind of, I say inanimate, but they have an energy coil, so they're fine. But there's actual spirits that can guard your house if that's in your thing. That's cool. We discussed different deities. Again, Saint Michael, if you're looking in angels, he is a protective angel. He is great for that. Azazel on the opposite end taught humans how to handle weapons. Great for that. What else is there? Spraying your body, anointing your body. Awesome. Drawing sigils on your body. Awesome. Tattoos. You can put sigils or protection symbols. I think there's a protection rune, but I'm not entirely sure about that. In your tattoo. Just if you're gonna do that, don't just, with all of these actually, really, don't just put them there and then expect them to do their job forever. You have to keep coming back to them. So with a tattoo, you might rub lotion on it. Or if you can't do lotion, just put your hand over it and think about it for a bit. Recharge it. So when it comes to that, Samhain, I like to take eggshells. I like to take onion peels, grind it up, walking around my house or my apartment building. You'll see me sprinkling it around the apartment building on the grass. It's not really bad. It's all natural. And people think I'm weird for it, but I don't care. So, that's all the basics. I wouldn't say that's all of them. You can read books on it. You can read this. You can read that. So, this is where it gets kind of gross. If you want to not hear gross things, end the video here, and I'll give you a minute. End the video right here. Alright. You good? Alright, let's talk about the gross things. When I say gross, this is legit things. This is stuff for people who are actually trying to get some work done. Those things work. The things before this work. But this is for people who are actually trying to get some work done. Some stuff. So, when you are calling on spirits, that is a thing. Yes, you can call on so on and so forth, but when you're actually trying to do spell work, you can call on spirits to protect you. I like to call on Saint Michael to protection. I like to call on Azazel on the other side for protection. They are great spirits to have in your corner. Some people will say Azazel's not a protection spirit. He is to me, and he taught humans how to use swords and fight. How is that not protective? So, casting a circle. I feel like if you are in your own space, you don't need to cast a circle. If you are outside of your own space, cast a circle. If you want to know how to cast a circle, I will do a whole bloody video on it. It's not that hard. Well, it is that hard if you're not practicing, but conceptually, it's not that hard. It takes practice. But that's not why we're sitting in this video now, is it? So, one way to protect yourself. Piss. Pee. Urine. Your urine. If you are in a house, and you have your own house, and it's completely in the woods and no one's ever going to see you be naked outside, take a squat. Piss in the woods. Piss on all four corners of your property. Dogs piss, cat piss. They do it to mark their territory. You as a witch, you are primal energy. You are beautiful. You are divine. You are goddess. You are primal. Piss. Piss on all four corners if you can. Doesn't matter if you dig a hole or not, just piss. It's gonna go away eventually. Like, it won't go away, the energy will still be there. But the smell will go away. That's what I mean by it will go away. And you can keep doing this. Do it once a year. Do it as many times as you want to. The more you do it, the more it can help. But if you do it one time, you did it. Now, you're bad at squatting. If you're like me and you piss down your leg, piss in a jar. Piss in a cup. Go pour it on the four corners of your property. You can do it by northeast, southwest if your property's a little weird shaped, or you can literally do it on each corner of your square property. However your property's set it up to works for you. But squat over that toilet, stick the cup right up to your noonie, pee in it, pour a little bit on each corner, if that's what you can do. Don't pour it on your porch, because then you're going to have a pissy porch. Pour it in the garden. Pour it on the corners. Okay? Okay. One way to tie yourself to a property and claim it as yours is your blood. If you do not menstruate, a little safely, sterilely, carefully, wipe on the top of your doors. Your door frames, wipe it on the top of them. Dead straight. If you're an Abrahamic witch, this goes for you. If it's not, pause right here. Stop it right here. But anyways, God said take the blood of the lamb and put it on the doors. Wipe the doors with it, and he will know to pass those houses and not kill those firstborns. You are claiming it by yours by wiping your blood on it. Yeah, you could take lamb's blood. That works too, I guess. But really, blood. The other thing is, you are sacrificing your essence to protect your house. It's like a marking on your door. I will bleed for this house. Come at me. If you are a woman who menstruates, take that fucking, stick your hand down in your, and then smear. A little bit on the top of the door frame. There's that little edge that comes out. Put it right there. That way no one has to know. You don't have to wreck your door. Okay? No one has to know. It's gonna dry. It's not gonna stink. No one's gonna wreck your door. Putting 3 drips of your menstrual blood on the top very edge of the door frame ain't gonna ruin anything. If you live in an apartment, piss in the potted plant and put the potted plant. Just pour a little piss in the potted plant soil. Plant the plant. Lots of piss, not so much. Don't kill your plants. Little piss in the potted plant. Put it by your door. Marks your spot. You're good. Also, when it comes to blood, note that your stuff, your givings, it's your essence. So therefore, anything really that you do in blood, I wouldn't say is stronger, but I wouldn't say it's not stronger. You really have to think about why you're doing it in blood. I wouldn't write every sigil in blood. That's kind of overkill and stupid. But if you need something, if you really are going over through it, I would definitely just pop and then write the protection sigil in blood and stick it in there. Note that if you're tattooing things on your body, you are carving it into your flesh. That's a big deal. It's a big deal. Still needs to be re-energized, but it's still a big deal because it's carved into you. That's the other thing, is scarification. I don't know enough about it, but yeah, that's an option. But I know a lot of women who use their menstrual blood and then put it in a crock pot. Don't get me wrong, I would not mix the crock pot with the food crock pot. This one is your electric cauldron crock pot. This is your blood crock pot. Not your food crock pot. Some women use cups, and then they dump the cup into the crock pot, and they will cook that on slow until the blood dries, and then they scrape it out, and then they got their blood, and it's not gonna go bad, in a sense. It's like flaky blood. Flaky blood is good for your garden. Flaky blood can be done whenever. You know what I mean? Tampons are great crayons. I know that sounds really fucking horrible, but tampons are great crayons. If you want to mark something as yours, why not mark it in your crayon? It also, just saying, think of it this way. If you were walking up to a witch's house and you walk up to this gate, the first thing on the gate is a sigil carved or painted on the gate. You're like, or in the stone or whatever when you first walk up to the gate. And you walk up to the gate and you unlatch it. You walk through and you latch it again because you're respectful. And you see plants. And the first thing you look over, and you know because you're a witch too, you look over and you see rosemary by the gate. And you're like, oh shit, okay. It's not a big deal. Everybody plants rosemary. And it's just not a big deal. And you walk up and you're walking up. And you see the stones all painted with little markings or carved with little markings. Okay, not a big deal. You walk up to this house and you see a broom hanging over the door and you're like, hey, okay, not a big deal. It's all good. It's on the porch. It's just broom. And you see this wooden rope kind of driftwood thing with a skull hanging off, an animal skull hanging off the bottom. Or a reef. Reefs are good protection. Trust me, there's a reason for them. So hang that protection. Figure out what animal, whatever. And you see this gorgeous reef. Flowers you don't recognize, but something's funny about it. And you see a skull hanging, a raccoon skull, or a deer, a small deer, like a doe skull, hanging off of it. And you're like, oh, okay. And at the bottom, or at the very top, right above the reef, you see a smear of blood. You're like, oh fucking shit, okay. One, I need to go home and I need to get a gift, because you don't show up to someone's house without a gift. So I'm just gonna leave right now. I'm gonna go get that wine. If I really need to talk to this girl or this man or this witch, I'm gonna go get some wine and I will be back. That's your first thing you're gonna think to do. Your eyes are gonna widen. You're gonna be like, oh shit. And even if you don't believe in witchcraft, even if you don't know anything about this, you're gonna look at this and go, this bitch is crazy. This is one crazy motherfucker. Do I really want to get into this? And you are going to second guess yourself. Good job, witch. You just protected your house, didn't you? Because everyone thinks you are the crazy person. That's one thing that's good about this. Is it's good to be crazy. Because when you're crazy, no one fucks with you. Just saying. Just saying. I am known as the crazy person at work. And I'm okay with that. So. And I still get fucked with. Probably because I'm young and I'm silly. But that's okay. They don't fuck with me for long. And that's not just at work. That's in general. But, yeah. So, blood and piss, man. Those are your bodily functions. And especially as a woman, think that blood in your womb protects your baby. That is the lining of your uterus. That is protection. That is the shell of the egg of who you are. Magic in the womb is a thing. We cultivate in our wombs. You want to cultivate something? Use your womb blood. And if you are doing a protection ritual and you happen to be on your cycle, don't be afraid to shove your hand down south, come up with it, and just... It's not dirty. It's not dirty. It is magic. And I don't even think my husband's been around when I've done that. That's the fun thing. Do it when he's not home. So, like, seriously. Your womb blood. Your blood. And your piss. Great protection things. Great for marking your spot. Great for it. So, that's the gunky part of it. Sorry we had to go there, but it is what it is. You're human. Please always practice safety. Safety in your magic. Safety for your house. Safe medically. If you're cutting yourself for blood, please be aware of medical risks. Let's all do it safely. Safe, sane, consensual. Risk aware, consensual. We all have those moments where we slice ourselves open, but like, I actually have never sliced myself open. I've always used my womb blood. Why should I slice myself open when I can use my cultivating blood? Maybe I'll think about it when I get older, and I'm old and I'm grown and I don't want to bleed anymore, but I've always just used my womb blood. Like I said, tampons make great crayons. So, when you are practicing these things, please be safe, sane, consensual. Do not go wiping your blood on your door without your husband's awareness. My husband doesn't care. But he's like, as long as it doesn't stink, I don't give a flying fuck. I don't necessarily, especially if you can hide it, I don't care. He's kind of like, I don't want a big, huge blood smear on the door, but like, if you can put it on the top, I don't care. So, safe, sane, consensual. Also think about the people in your house before you do things. If this isn't your pot of tea, read a book. So many books on protection magic. Figure out what works for you, what is in your conceptual pantheon. I know that, one of the other things that is a really thing is Medusa head on a woman's house. Great protection. I mean, they put her head on shields and everything else. Her head is a great protection sigil. Calling on her for protection as a goddess is amazing. Sorry, random thought. It's the reason why I went off script with this one, because I can just keep thinking of more and more and more and more and more and more and more. I could be here for forever. If you guys want more ideas, comment and I will make another video, or I will put more in the comments depending on how much I come up with. If you guys give me a pantheon, I can probably give you at least 3 to 5 things, even if I don't work in that pantheon, on different things that work with that pantheon on protection. A lot of these things are not pantheon specific. Your blood, your piss. Not pantheon specific. That's just primal. Eggshell's probably not pantheon specific. The blood on the door depends on how you do it. Things like that. A lot of people see the pentacle, star. Why can I not see? I know these words. Please don't think I am, like, disrespecting anything. I know these words. I just can't say them. But a lot of people use that as a symbol of protection, including myself. That's why I'm like, no disrespect. I just can't speak. I'll speak really, really good, and then I'll try to say a word that I've said 1,000 times and I can't. So I'm not going to even try. So, anyways, pretty much like I said, comment if you want more. Don't comment. It's all good in the hood. But these are just ideas. And really, not trying to give you the crappy ideas, but yeah, trying to give you the dirty ones too. Hi, Voodoo. Alright. I gotta go and play with him because he is going to go up on this desk faster than I can say caterpillars on ice if I keep sitting here. So, time to go to bed and cuddle my kitty, and I love you people. Have a great day, and go do magic. Right, Voodoo? Right, we're gonna go do magic. Bye, guys.